Good morning, everyone. Welcome again. It's Sunday morning. It is the 25th of January. So the month's almost done. I'm coming back to another one of our little Sunday morning chats, courtesy of the National Lotteries Commission. Look, community fund. They've give us a bit of money to get this sorted. So what we do is come here, talk a load of shite for a few hours, and come and join in or even listen to us. For some reason, I don't know. I've got Pete and Clive with me at the moment. I'm sure we're going to be joined by other people at the minute. Morning, Clive.
Morning, Steve. Morning, Peter.
How you doing,
Hello.
son?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. Steady week.
Just telling us you've had your operation. The facial expert's going to called your operation off, and the one with your jaw as well has been called off. So we try and get the whole lot done soon when we can get it done.
So. Thank
Cool.
you.
Okay. Pete,
Thank
good
you very
morning
much.
to you, mate. How you doing, Pete?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, we were just talking about, especially with after the events of yesterday, about people passing away. And I know this is, we will get on and we'll talk about football as well. I mean, football's a great distraction from some of the shit that goes on in life, isn't it?
Of course it is.
And we were saying whether it's an age thing now, but it just seems to be one after the other at the moment. A conveyor belt.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean,
Of course,
yesterday
yesterday, we had the tribute to Hoppy, and Arthur. Uh, I mean, whilst they're sort of, well, they're sad events, but they're joyous events as well. But it does get a little much, doesn't it, when it's non-stop,
yeah, but it's like, I mean, a close friend of mine and Clive's, Jamie Teagle. He's a steward down there, and he's just lost his mum.
Oh,
And
okay. Oh,
yeah, yeah, and it's all fell on Jamie to try and do all the arrangements and everything else. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? It's sort of like when you lose someone, especially sort of like close family and everything, you don't get time to grieve because
you
you know the loss happens, and then you're in a position where you have to arrange things. You only get one shot at arranging a funeral, don't you? And
mm,
you
I'll tell
end
you
up
something, Pete. You want to try talking about that, and like having to rush and not having time to do anything. Here in Spain, if you die on Monday, you're buried on Tuesday,
mm,
and that's the truth. 2 days is like a long time in Spain. I guess a lot of it is down to do with the heat and everything else going back some years, but that's how it happens here.
mm.
So literally, you're sitting there having a coffee today, and tomorrow night you could be like in the incinerator. So, but you know what? In a way, it sort of gets it done dead fast because the other way, it just sort of hangs on forever, doesn't it?
well,
Mm.
this is I mean, I know like Clive Stewart couldn't have his operation done because there was a bed shortage. Well, obviously, there's a big flipping waiting list for flipping funerals, isn't there?
Uh,
That just seems to be growing longer and longer. And like you say, he's over here, especially when it's somebody as close to you. You don't get chance to do that grieving bit because your mind is took up with doing all the arranging and everything.
mhm.
Um, I'll never forget with
Well, good morning. I hope you're enjoying the conversation so far. I'm trying to cheer you up on a Sunday morning. Just have a little chat about death, cremations, burials, and Clive's operation to put his face right going on. You can see he still looks like a miserable bastard. This time next week, he'll have a smile like this. No,
Week
3rd of
after,
February,
week
Clive.
after. Um,
3rd of Feb, Clive, yeah?
Sorry.
3rd of February, you said, didn't you?
Yes, 3rd of February.
So we'll all be thinking of you on that day. Actually, Clive, I have to say, there were a few messages in the group on Friday saying thinking of Clive today.
Oh, that was nice. That was nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There could have been a chance he could have come back to me going to Thursday on Friday. They will meet was off, but they did say they're so good to me. They did say things might come better by Thursday. Um, um, and it's basically actually it'll be different going to Thursday. One, obviously, if you got your morning first or so, you can't eat after 12 o'clock, but you can drink foods now up until an hour before the operation. Where many years ago you couldn't drink foods for
Mm.
like 4 hours before. So
Oh, that's
you
interesting,
couldn't
isn't
eat
it?
that. Some-
So look who's at the bottom left here on our celebrity square boxes. We've got Angus. How you doing, son?
Good, mate. Good.
It's nice to see you. All right today. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. All
I
good.
like that shirt, kid. Let's have a look. Is it the one with the band?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah,
What
very
I go
like
for,
last season's shirt, that isn't it?
I don't know. I'll go for America.
yeah,
As
well,
well.
so Steve, it's a good job you didn't tell Clive, that those messages what they were actually thinking of Clive. Anyway, all you said, he didn't have it. Um,
Hang on, what's that? Oh, he's got the Murphy on the back. Is that the second? Is that the away kit? I like that red one actually. I don't usually like red, but I like that particular shirt. Just going to say good morning to Dave Pegg. Good morning, Dave. Say good morning to Richard. Good morning, Richard. Hope
morning,
everyone's all
David.
right
Morning,
this morning.
Richard.
Morning.
Good
You
morning,
probably
Dave.
can't see it. You probably can't
hello.
see it on here. I don't know whether you can, but
I can
my
see
eyes
you,
aren't
yeah.
very good to. Got conjunctivitis. I think it's conjunctivitis. It came on Friday. If it's
You
not
got the
cleared
look
up
of the
by,
Black Death about you, mate.
it's it don't feel very nice, mate. It
Well,
really don't.
I'm
don't
only
expect,
joking.
Dave, don't expect any sympathy of Mr. Trainer. Steve,
So I am today.
he's been rude to me today. He's been rude to you. He's not stopping his rudenesses after each today.
It's going to start on Richard next because he hasn't said
Yeah.
hello to Richard yet.
I have. I have said hello. So,
But
football.
yes, I was going to say we better lighten the mood a bit
Yeah.
here. But
Oh, yeah,
I
everybody be
mean,
turning off.
talking about funerals and that and Clive's operations and that. Let's talk about happy, joyous occasions like Blues getting another point.
Yeah, and to be honest, like that game yesterday, I mean, there's a lot of hype around it, obviously, because of the new signings. I the team selection was sort of what I thought it would be. Isn't what I put into the group. I put into the group what I would have gone with, and it was exactly the same, except Paik for Solis. But when you've got three new players like that as well, you can't expect them just to turn it on like that, particularly foreign players. Um, I think the lineup with Os, I think Osman looked longer stood probably because he sort of went down a few times, but he was fouled a few times. So, but it was interesting to see what Stoke did with Osman in mind, because they've had a lot of issues, haven't they? The lad up front, who is the French kid, what's his name? Sessegnon. Now he's actually a defender, and they put him up front for the last few games. But yesterday they played Zorba Thomas, who was there like really, really good, wide right-sided attacker. Last time he caused us grief, as well as Lavelle caused us grief last time, who was the right fullback on the same day. Well, Lavelle was sent off last week, so he didn't play. Zorba Thomas played right back yesterday. They put Thomas on Osman, and so that basically took Thomas out of the attacking equation. And what pissed me off was like, you got someone yesterday saying, Zorba Thomas was kept quiet. Zorba Thomas didn't have any joy going at Wagner until Osman went off. And then suddenly, on 60 minutes, Zorba Thomas was finding his way through because the midfield had changed. What they didn't realise was Zorba Thomas had been taken from right back and moved up front. I mean, what game are they watching? If you don't understand what you're watching, it frustrates a shite out of me, Pete.
Well, I mean, I've said it before, I say it again. It's too easy just to watch a game of football and only watch your team, and it's easy to forget that there's two teams out there trying to compete to win a game of football, and you've got to
Don't play
say that
well.
that Stoke set themselves up and we're doing a bit of a number of it on us in the first half, really. It was interesting to listen to Chris Davis talk about it, the fact of they were winning the second ball, and I think that's what he was a bit slightly perturbed about. But you look at that first half, if that's not us playing with our best, we had Jay through 1-on-1 with the keeper that he could have scored. We had what's it saying? Osman through 1-on-1. Keeper saved it. Tommy hit the bar with a one of his swinging corners. We scored a perfectly good goal. I still haven't seen it back.
I think it was
Uh,
offside, to be honest.
but apparently they give it because the duck impeded one of their players from getting to Iwata. I was going to say I haven't seen it back because there's no way in the world it was offside. But for whatever reason, the ref can blow a foul up for Ducks allegedly impeding one of their players, and yet when our young lad comes on, he can get flipping smashed to the ground, and the ref lets it. Oh well, yes, man's game, part and parcel of it. It's a
I
load of
think there
bollocks.
were a couple of penalties that probably could have been given to us on another day yesterday. I think what happened was, and you got to remember that Mark Robbins is an extremely good manager. He's done his own work. He always does. Stoke are a solid unit, and they were very quick into the press, and that's what stopped us. Like expanding the way we normally do. He got it worked out. They put the kibosh on Roberts by putting two men on him, three on him sometimes. Every time he got the ball, he couldn't get forward. He had to just basically come back on himself. On the left, Osman was having joy. But to be fair to Sorba Thomas, I think he did a good job on him. But I think Osman got the better of him throughout the game, and I was really impressed by Osman. I thought he looked the part. This lad's going to be a really good player. He's strong as well. I think what we lacked there, Pete, which is you was talking about there, the second ball in the middle of the park, and I don't know who he would have replaced, but I think John Solis would have made the difference there because when he came on in the second half, we looked a lot sturdier in the middle, didn't we?
Yeah, well, I was surprised at how early the substitutions were made in the second half, and I think I mentioned that before. Um,
They
but
were
when you
about
listen,
60, weren't they? Well,
that's right.
56, 57, and 68 and 70 minutes on the Stoke side, and mainly like just under 60 on ours.
Yeah, I mean, like with the, I was going to say, Osman there, once he changed his boots and could stand upright, he showed glimpses of what he can do. He's got some great pace and whatever. And at the start of the second half, he had a couple of absolutely fantastic runs, was running them ragged a bit, and then got got pulled on 60 minutes just as we were in the ascendancy, so to
Yeah.
speak.
I think
But
the thing there, Pete, is I'm sorry just to interrupt you. I'm only doing this so that I don't really want to go on it. Quite a lot of people saying, well, like you took Osman off, you took Doyle off, just when and they were the two of the main protagonists in getting us forward. And these people aren't robots. Like they have a certain amount. They're monitored as the game goes on. Those uh, those vests they wear are sending information back all the time to the bench. They can see exactly what they've done. They look at the heat map. For a start off, Doyle was running around like a lunatic, coming along. Osman, he's just come. He didn't join us until last Monday or Tuesday. He's just literally signed. He's come over. Right, he's a Brighton player, but he's been playing in France. I've said nothing. So he's come over, he's moved, he's trained with us. He's played his first game, playing because we took him off after 60 minutes. What you don't see is what might have happened if the players stay on. You've seen Stoke running out of the next subs to bring on. They were desperate. Well, they're bringing young kids on after 75 minutes to replace first teamers because they're on the legs. Can't just keep
Yeah.
playing someone. You know what I mean? They're not they're people. They're human beings. They run out. You know,
Well, as it is, I think he showed a lot of promise.
which one?
Uh, Osman there, I
Yeah.
mean, he's got to get used to the way we play as well. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, yeah, what's he doing and everything." He weren't just sort of like he's not a dimmer, and not many people are.
I
But
can't
there's
understand
there's,
anyone being critical of him yesterday.
there's some promise. Well, perhaps they weren't in our group. Let's put it that way. Um, but I think the signs are there. But the good thing about that substitution when it did happen, though, is when Jay moved out onto the left, he was just as effective as well, wasn't he?
And I think we
Yeah,
might see this a little bit. People slating Stansfield as well. He's becoming now like a little bit accepted to slate. He should never be accepted to slate anyone like that. But I thought Janice Stansfield yesterday. There was two man of the matches for me. One was Stansfield, one was Iwata. And I think I
yeah,
was telling Iwata yesterday, but I think Stansfield might have shaded it. The lad covers loads and loads of ground. He's hard working. Um, it's a little bit unfortunate. He had a couple of chances that he didn't take. But if you've seen the interview with him after the game when he said, he's learned to live with the fact that you're going to go without scoring goals for a while, I think that's fair enough. And I think he had a great game. And when we came on as well, I did like Priska. I think as well, when he's got a little bit of time, Priska is going to be a big thing for us. What disappointed me yesterday again was Ducks. I didn't sometimes know who was playing. And
yeah,
I think there's games for Ducks. When you play a team that is physical, you cannot play Marvin Ducks in that position because they just wipe him out.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I mean, I've always been a big supporter of Duck there, but the game certainly passed him by, didn't he? But a lot also has been made of Stokes' injury crisis, and oh, we're only playing Stokes reserve. Well, how about giving a bit of flipping kudos there
How about
to Mark?
ours?
Uh,
It's right,
Hello,
Pete. You're right.
it, you what? Sorry,
It's all right. Carry
hello.
on.
Yeah, yeah. I was just saying, I mean, hats off there to that Mark Robbins, the way he'd set Stoke up, like you say, done his homework, got about us. Fair play to Stoke.
I don't think not many people knew what Stokes' lineup was yesterday or set up. I knew what it was straight away. I could see what it was. They played with wing backs yesterday. They played with five across the back, low block. They just completely crowded the midfield. And anyone saying, like that why can't you break through that midfield or that 10-man wall, 11-man wall in front of you with half an hour to go? It's quite simple. There's an awful lot of bodies in a very small amount of space. And every single team that plays against a team playing a low block has the same issue. And some of our two-touch passing yesterday was real quality. Just have a little listen to the facts of yesterday's game. The possessions were 54 60, 46 in Stoke's favour. Our XG or expected goals was 2.08 and Stoke was 0.36. That tells you how much they defended. The total shots, Blues 18, Stoke 7. Shots on target, this is where we let ourselves down, 5 to Stoke's 1. So those facts are actual facts. It's not like, I think they were crap. I think they didn't do this. I think they didn't do that. Those are facts. don't take too much notice of the percentage in possession because, like we know, that ball can be passed along the back four, can't it? We've seen that, But Stoke yesterday had a lot of possession because they were in that low block for a long period of time, and they kept winning that ball back when we were trying to break through. We just didn't have the breakthrough. Well, we did, didn't we? We just missed the opportunities.
Yeah,
The other thing you were saying, Peter, about Osman and when he got, he's not dimmy, but something I was encouraged by was the fact when he did go outside, he wasn't scared to go around the long way around. He didn't
yeah,
come back a lot of the time. He actually went the long way around, and I love that because Dimmy does that, and he caught Zorba Thomas several times doing that. Some of those little balls in from the near post when he'd run along the touchline from his left foot. They were just begging to be converted. What we need, and that's where you want Ducks. Ducks was playing up front yesterday. That's where he should have been.
yeah.
You can't blame the team. You can
There's,
because
there,
the
there,
team's the team, but you know what I mean. They could have won that game yesterday.
yeah,
And I think,
there's a lot of promising signs there. We are a work in progress, aren't we? I was very encouraged by a lot of what I seen yesterday.
and we might
Um,
we might get Vicente in as well. So,
yeah, but what did everybody else think then? Um, who's ahead of our performance yesterday?
No, I didn't see any of the game or any of the game. One thing I would be interested in, Peter, obviously you went, whoever went, how did our good friend Beadle play? Because yeah, I get sometimes when we talk on air and when we talk about incidents like people being safe, it's upsets me because there's no way to you upset another human being for whatever.
I think Beadle is looking more a
Was he
shoe in
good?
every game he plays. I did see him go. Did see one ball come across. He did go to punch it, and I'm glad he didn't connect with it
Uh-huh.
because it was cut out before it got to him. But generally speaking, now I think Beadle looks like a much safer pair of hands. I
Excellent. I'm
think
pleased. Well
yeah,
done.
he's got a lot more confidence, and I actually made a note about it here, to mention Beadle because you don't people don't mention Beadle if he plays well. The only time Beadle gets a mention is if he plays badly. So I'm going to say he looked solid again yesterday. I think his
Uh,
general mark throughout everything I've looked at different sites, and that is 7.5 or something.
mhm.
So yeah, I think it's cool. I think Beadle's looking good, Clive, and it's a good thing to bring it up because he doesn't get a lot of recognition for what he does, Beadle.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think also, Clive, listening to the game, I don't know whether, I mean, Pete, you were there. Steve, you watched it. Apart
Yeah, I
from the
watched
goal,
it.
I thought not. I listened to the commentary, and it sounded like Neumann was having a good game apart from the goal.
Um, there was
I mean, apart
I
from the
did
goal, it's a big statement.
Well,
his
yeah,
yeah
it was a good goal. You
Go on, Pete.
his distribution, as we know, is not his strongest point as well. Um, I think some of his hesitancy spread a bit throughout the back four. But saying that, you look at you go on about stats. How many clear cut chances did Stoke actually had? They had a lot of pressure and they lumped the ball in our box, but they scored off a set piece that was you can point the finger there at who should have been doing a job and who shouldn't. But all in all, over the piece, we handled them quite well, I thought.
I think that was given as an own goal to Neumann, I believe. But I don't
Yeah.
think you can really say that he did anything wrong. I mean, I think the whole defence there didn't look. It's just one of them that was, and I don't think it's an individual error, but it did go in off Neumann. Um, that Stoke did put us under pressure with long balls, the way you probably would expect them to at times. They are a very, very big team. They are physically big. this other thing about Stoke with their, with their all these players missing. Like Pete said earlier, we had a lot of players missing. We've had lots of players missing for weeks and weeks, but no one brings that up when we lose or when everyone wants Chris Davis to be sacked. No one's saying, "Look at all the players we got missing." That goes out the window. But when having some players missing manages to put the spotlight on us for being crap, for not being able to take advantage of it, then everyone reminds you that opposition players are missing. I think our fans yesterday, a lot, not in our group, uh, but in other groups, some of the stuff is unacceptable. I mean, I emailed the club a couple of weeks ago and mentioned BCFC Facebook page, which is just a disgrace. I haven't had anything back from them. So today, I chase it. I'll give them 2 weeks. Something needs to be done about that group, even if it's just a warning on there saying, please keep under 18s out or something. It's awful.
Yeah, but Steve, like I mean, we're on about Stoke and that. I don't know if any of you has watched the Derby and West Brom game Friday night. Jesus Christ, that was a hard watch. That was. But they interviewed the Albion manager afterwards, and he's very much the saying, we're going to be playing to our strengths now. He said we've got big, powerful physical units, and we're going to be playing for set pieces and that, forget your tippy tap fancy football. And it is creeping back into that game big style now, isn't it? Our game. It's almost like going in a cycle, isn't it? Is that it's becoming more percentage ball game again? Do you think?
Yeah, I think in the Premier League, there's a lot more teams playing long ball now than there has been for a long time. But I think
Yeah,
it was like our game yesterday. You could be accused of us going long a lot yesterday. And I was expecting Beadle to get shit yesterday because he was going long so often. But actually, some of his long balls yesterday were brilliant. There was a couple out to Osman that completely went over the top of the Stoke defence and caught him because although they got the low block on, they were defending quite high. But I did notice uh, Beadle literally looking up, looking for the pass, and Stoke was so on the press that he had no
yeah,
choice but to go long. And sometimes you have no choice. If there's not a passer. Now, had he tried to play out and he got caught, played it to a defender and he got caught, it would have been Beadle's fault. So I think Beadle now thinks to himself, you know what, if I'm not 100% sure what's going to get managed and I'm going to go long. And I think he made the right choice yesterday.
yeah. Absolutely, and like you say, some Leicester getting turned over by Oxford. I mean, Oxford's our next game, isn't it? Leicester are
It's
really
another one
struggling.
that people are going to, say, oh, we should be winning at Oxford, but Oxford are another team that like to defend.
Yeah, yeah,
But I think if I'm wondering about team selection and thinking is because I was thinking when we signed Priska that he's probably on than someone. Now I know we're looking at Vicente and the sort of not 100% sure. I'm I'm sure this guy's going to sign for Blues, but it's not 100%. But I would say like it's more than 60%. So if Vicente comes, you, you know, I think it'll add more impetus to us. But seeing Chris Gaines, I think he's sort of more ready than I thought he was.
Mm.
I mean, he looks like a kid, doesn't he?
Oh God, yeah, yeah. That's
I mean, I showed
oh,
you a photo the other day that I'd got hold of Pete of him, and he looks about 11, doesn't he, with them glasses on and that?
yeah. But but
It's like,
no, I was impressed with his little bit yesterday. He's not afraid to go in where and try and mix it, isn't he? Okay, he got flattened a few times, like, but he got up and come back for more, didn't he?
Yeah, I liked his attitude, and I think he's very much a Chris Davis kind of player, isn't he? Like Stansfield, he's going to keep going. Uh, The other thing that was interesting yesterday, I listened to the Stoke commentary. I couldn't get the Blues commentary for some reason, so I was listening to Stoke, and number one, they were so complimentary about the ground, the crowd, the atmosphere yesterday. I would say look, it's an old style ground, Birmingham. It's always a hard place to come, but look at this, like 30 people, 1,000 people here today. Listen to this, this is an intimidating atmosphere, blah, blah, blah. But then they were also went on to say, look at Birmingham, though, look at the international, the amount of different nationalities they have in this team. There's 5 or 6 of our players that have played in the Bundesliga or German football. It's mad, isn't it? But they'd worked out the figures, and then they were talking about then obviously like we got the Solis, playing in Spain, possibly Vicente coming from Spain. We got Osman who's just come from French football. Uh, we got Prisca playing Swedish football. Very few of our players got English football experience. Wagner at left back never played English football before. The 2 centre halves never played in English football before they came to us. Right back yesterday was Iwata, who had never played in English football before he came to us. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because basically everyone that we've got in our team has learnt to play football the English way through Chris Davis and through our club.
yeah, it's a bit of a change from the more coming from Sheldon Comprehensive, isn't it?
I don't know how you feel about people say, what's the matter with buying, like an established championship player? What's the matter with them? Why they always get this lot in, these foreigners? Uh, it's exciting to me to see these new players come, players that I don't really know, I've sort of only learned about over the last few weeks. Of course, then it's like yesterday before the game, everyone, I can't wait to the new players. This is the beginning of, this is it, blah, blah, blah. And then when they don't play like, Stanley Matthews for Stanley Matthews for 90 minutes, people are going, oh, what's the matter with these players? Shit, they bought a load more shit again. Gardner's got to go. Wah, 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 the usual shite, It's just, it does my head in, honestly.
Yeah, we are, like you say, we're a work in progress.
What was your thoughts on Pike yesterday?
Uh, you what, sorry?
Pike,
Hey, um, well,
Pike.
obviously, it seems like he's the next one on the block now, isn't it? He's because oh yeah, he's Chris Davis, his favourite, and
Two masters escaped.
yeah, that's it. Who should we have a go at now? We'll have a go on at Pate. Um, Chris Davis sees him every day. If he's happy with him, that's good enough off for me. Um, there's a reason why he replaced Tommy Doyle with what's its name, Solis, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And not. I
You're
don't
off,
know what's
Pete.
happening. Yeah. It's all right. Dog's going mad. No, I was going to say he just seems to be the new one. Oh well, yeah. He can't do anything wrong in Chris Davis's eyes, but there's
I
always
mean,
going
the
to be.
thing that upsets me always is that people don't understand what's going on in front of their eyes. Why did we go defensive after 60 minutes? We didn't. I just don't understand that. We didn't go defensive after 60 minutes. Bringing Solis on didn't make us defensive. It made us more aggressive in the middle of the park. And some of our best attacking staff hour, Stansfield going wide on the left, Box was involved. I just think we have to think about this Stats Ducks thing. I mean, if we're going to play, I would probably give Priska a go up top. How he
Who
gets
would you?
on, he stands field behind him, you know.
Well, you know this number 10 role or whatever they call it these days. Obviously, who would you want playing that?
Well, for me, like yesterday, I've listened to, I assumed Stansfield would play top, Ducks would be playing the 10, but it didn't work out that way, you know. Ducks was like up top, and it just hasn't got, I mean, he's a player to play against Stoke. He's not strong enough, he hasn't got the power. He can't disappear in a game, Ducks. Uh, he has his little moments, and we've seen that, you know, like what was it, 2 goals in or 3 goals in 4 games or something, you know. But you can also look at saying, you know, well, Iwata had goals in 3 games. You know, one swallow doesn't make a summer, does it? Uh, so I think he's a little bit patchy, Ducks. And for me, uh, number 10, we don't have to play a 10. I mean, the way Stansfield plays is he can
Yeah,
play right across the back four. And I don't know if you noticed as well, but Osman has got that ability too. But what I
yeah,
loved about Osman, um, I've seen him attack down the left, go past Sorba Thomas. There's a bit of a, he tackled, Thomas tackled him, it went into touch, and then Stoke took a quick throw in the ball when this was when we were attacking the railway. The ball was picked up at right back, put into middle. Someone from the centre of the pitch played it out wide left on the Stoke left wing attacking the Tilton. Who turns up to tackle him? Ibrahim Osman. So
yeah.
Osman, who is a
They are.
left-sided, who played wide left yesterday, after attacking and going past Sorba Thomas and getting tackled, 2 minutes
How many
later,
changes have you got?
appears tackling uh, the stuff. Forget the guy, the left Stoke left winger, right in the right back position. So Iwata must have gone forward, and Osman's seen that gap and decided to go and fill it and cover it. Absolutely brilliant. I love, but no one notices those things.
Yeah, I mean, we're quite fluid amongst the front
Bloody
line.
balls.
About it, we got Patrick Roberts, we got Jay, got this Osman and everything. That they can all interchange and move about, like you say. Perhaps we don't need this number 10 then.
See, there's another way we could play it, and this is something I would love to try, but I don't think Chris Davis will try it, and that's four at the back. But we have got supposedly, I don't think there's a name on it yet, but we've got another week, haven't we, to get a left-sided centre half, and I think that's going to happen. But I think the longer it goes on, what happens in the January transfer window is people hang on till the last second. So if they think they can get someone more, agent thinks he can get a bit more leverage. That's what happens. So this could go on right to the end with the centre. But we will be getting a left side centre half. I'm certain of that. So play that because I think centre half is getting 2 settled centre backs. I think we've had 6 or 7 different combinations. So I think in front of the back four, then to have three, Doyle in the middle, Solis on Pike on the right, Pike on the left, Solis on the right. So got that additional person. So Pike and Solis can play, and Dore can do a little bit of the magic. So Dore's got the passing ability. Thing is, then you just have 2 and a 1. So it's a Christmas tree. 4-3-2-1. So then you have to were sacrificing the extra person, expensive mid, lose one from. So three up top would probably be, wouldn't they? Stansfield, Osman, Roberts. So you
Yeah,
haven't really got a number 10. You've got 2, an 8, and a 10. Centre forward, and then 3 midfielders sitting in front of the back four. It gives you a more solid look. But I don't think it's quite as exciting. Not as exciting, wasn't it? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it don't matter what I think. It's what Chris Davis will do, isn't it?
I think he's
So
reluctant to do that.
yeah, and I do think really you've got to go game by game, really, and what's going to be out there in front of you. You know, I mean, just as Stoke did the homework and did a number on us yesterday. Well, I say did a number. That's the wrong thing to that. You know what I mean? Had done the homework on us. We've got to be prepared to adapt to what's in front of us.
Yeah, and I think an interesting thing yesterday, Pete, as well, was, everyone goes on about, our fabulous home record. Well, uh, what came out of yesterday is Stoke, I think, are 13th in the division in home form, and 7th in away form. They're one of the better teams away from Stoke. Struggle
Yeah.
with, obviously.
Uh,
So, but we are struggling a little bit now just to finish off at home. I think we've drawn 3 of the last 4, but we're still unbeaten. Well, we've lost 1 in the last 8 games. That's starting to look good, isn't it? We're starting to up the points. The thing that upset me most yesterday when we was 1-0 up, I looked at the league table, 2 points behind sixth place Watford,
Yeah.
and I thought, you know what? Fucking this is it. We win today. We're 2 points off sixth with 2 home games to fight. Right, you know what I mean? It's like,
well, you know, I mean, there's fine margins in football, isn't there? You look at our at flipping Wrexham now. For whatever reason, they're always going to be well, no, not from us sort of thing, but in Moansville, they're always going to be something that we're going to get compared with. And you know what it is? Oh, well, yeah, look at Wrexham. They're in the top 6 now. I mean, they flipping scored 2 goals in how many times do they
we've done that a
score?
lot of times. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can say, oh, well, yeah, but football is fine margins, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, Pete, and I think that's a brilliant point, because you can use the word luck, so some have been lucky to score that, but we've done that a lot of times as well. Didn't we? A lot last season, we've done it this season. One, I think, a point against Sheffield Wednesday, got set 2-0 down.
Yeah.
So well, it's not luck; it's called going till the end, and that's something. But I think what we're going to see now from the team, I think what's happened in the transfer window so far is the I'm gonna say bad eggs in the dressing room. I think there's a togetherness now. Davis is going to let us. He's got the dressing room. He's got a few people gone that were causing issues. See a more Chris Davis effect again, like we did last season. There's definitely been problems, and I think they're now solved. And we move on, and I think people have to understand that when you've got 30 people in a dressing room, they're all young men with loads of testosterone and they all want to play, uh, you ain't going to get 30 people that all get on together, no matter who they are, but when they're like top athletes, you know, and competitive young men, there's going to be some fallouts. A strong manager is someone that manages. Weak manager is someone that lets that go and accepts it. What I love about Chris Davis is he's made the point, he's done it his way. Certain people have gone on his way. And I think no matter what you can say about Chris Davis, one thing you can say about him is he's going to do things his way. He's not going to change that. That doesn't mean he hasn't got a plan B or anything like that. What it means is you never hear him throw players under the bus. You never listen. You can listen to every single one of Chris Davis's pressers, and more or less just change the opposition name and injuries, and it'll be the same. so and so on when he's come back. He's just going to be back on the grass. He'll be 3 weeks. And it's the same every time. And then a week later, you see him on the bench. Well done, Chris, because it takes everyone by surprise. But what he's got is, like I just said, he always tries to be positive. But you know, in terms of his process, just doesn't say a lot. It's nothing that we expect him to say. But what I think you're going to see about him, back to the temperament that we had throughout last season, put a lot of stuff forward. Because I do think he was under pressure. That Coventry game, I think if we lost that Coventry game, Mark's seen the Chris Gosler comments, didn't you? I think there was rumours about the fact that after Coventry gone,
Yeah, yeah.
and Gosler wrote a big piece about it, and he was on the same serious stuff. Got on, but I like this. If I put my hands up, I know I won't have to. If I do, I've got it wrong, then apologies. But it's gone. It's already been decided. Well, he was wrong. He hadn't been decided. I don't think it was up. It's not gone. But you know what? Do you remember Alex Ferguson at Man United? It's an alternative point. And I hope it is, because I personally think he's a great manager who's out there that's going to us. His togetherness.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know what? It's all right. I've got to go now, and it'd be interesting to hear what the other people on here. I feel like a fucking hog, this man.
Peter, I just want, not as much about football, but about Birmingham City, Peter, or any Balfour when. What's the atmosphere? And is there any animosity? Because I've had a look on some of the pages, our page and other pages, where some Blues fans have been naughty and pushing people in the aisles, knocking people over, using language. Have you read that, anybody?
Well, I'll tell you something, right?
Yeah,
One
I
of our
see it.
moderators, Alan Humphreys, over onto the floor by someone who said he'd taken their place in the queue. And we argued back.
The other thing is, can I just say, Steve, thinking it could be my iPad, has anybody else experienced out of us a language problem with Steve on the internet? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, keeps cutting out.
Yeah.
His microphone keeps going.
Yeah.
Steve, shut your microphone out.
But no, Clive. It's funny that you've mentioned that about what's going on in the ground and everything. I think it ain't just a Blues problem. It seems to be happening everywhere. And the people who are getting picked on, if you notice, I mean, no disrespect to Alan, he's flipping younger than me, but he's of a certain age and he's got problems with his eyesight, and he's getting bashed to the floor. You've got reports of young children being abused and picked on. It's it's just a respect these days. It seems to have gone out the window in society in general, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we were always brought up to sort of like respect your elders, and you wouldn't pick on flipping kids and everything. But that's gone out the window, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But
Pete, I had an incident yesterday when I was not football related, but youth related. and I was walking my German Shepherd quite happily, and three ewes walking towards me, and one of them suddenly went, well, straight in the dog's face. And then the other two lads, who were obviously the followers, started laughing. And I said, oi, you wouldn't be bloody laughing if that dog had took your bloody hand off. He said, if that dog took my hand off, I'd have the dog put down. I said, no, son, I'd have you put down. No respect whatsoever. They were about 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, but I mean, we've all been kids. We've all grown up, and we've all got into mischief, and well, may have done. But you know, there were certain no-go areas. You wouldn't go picking on flipping old people, and you wouldn't pick on kids, would you? But that's by the by now. Anybody seems fair game. It's like going back to the whole flipping COVID malarkey. It's like all of a sudden that's been you know, people's come out of their cages now. They've watched flipping top boy flipping 10 times. Everybody thinks they're a flipping little hooligan, and anybody's fair game. So, you know, I don't just think it's a blues issue going on. But it's still not nice. And obviously, as a blues group, we get to hear about, you know, instances that happen inside the ground. I'm sure if it was thrown open, like Dave's just said, just out walking his dog, and you got flipping little arseholes coming and having a pop just for the hell of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm with you there. It's a society issue. I used to see it every day on the gates with 900 children. But perhaps weren't the children, it was more so the parents and the way they speak to the children, and the language they use, etc., etc. I mean, some of these things you never dream of doing when you were a child and your mum and dad were about. Never. When I mentioned that, I've got to be right. Yeah, it happens everywhere. The only reason I mentioned it was Birmingham City because I've been looking at the page. It'll perhaps happen at Stoke's ground, at Man United's ground, at Liverpool's ground. I mean, you know, it is a society problem rather. I didn't mean it was a Birmingham City problem. It's wide scale.
Absolutely not quite. How about you, Angus? Have you encountered any shit from you?
All the time, mate. But you just let a livery and just brush it off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you start worrying about it on your mind. Back in the day, I'd have clunked them, but it's not worth it these days.
Exactly.
Take all of it and forget all about it. You know.
Yeah.
Obviously, I get it. Cause the colour of my skin as well. You get it there. Even though I'm 68, I still get popped out all the time. But it's part of life, and just get on with it and just keep out of the way and keep my head down.
You don't find, Angus, that are you still having to explain where you were born?
Yes.
That's pathetic, isn't it?
Get back in your boat. I said, look, I was born in this country. I've worked all my life. You still get tarred with the same brush sort of thing. You know, people that don't know you, they just have a pop at you. They think, oh, you come over here. I've never claimed the benefit of my life. I've worked for my life. I'm still working there.
Do you know something? I worked in a hospital for 11 years. Peter works in a hospital. I've seen lots of illnesses and diseases in hospitals. But some of the worst things I've ever seen in life is racism, fascism, sexism. Yeah, some of the worst things I've ever seen in life is the way we treat each other from whatever part of the world we're from, whether it's people from Wales, people from Scotland, people from America. Sometimes it can be a horrible, horrible world.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, you know, I mean, football was always the release from it. You don't want to be going to a football match and worried that your flipping 8-year-old daughter's going to get slapped or something like, you know. You don't want to have worked all your life. Oh, and enjoy my retirement now. I can actually afford an old age pension and a season ticket. I'll go down, and you're faced with abuse like Alan had to get. You know, where's the fucking respect gone?
That is a problem. There's no respect these days. 20 years ago, everyone look out for you. You look out for each other. Now they just have to go you for every reason. They probably had too much to drink, or you know.
Is my mic working?
Yeah.
It is now, Steve.
Yeah.
I think I actually turned myself off. You must have wondered why I'd gone so long without talking.
Oh, I know we've had a lovely time without this. We've had a lovely time.
The point I was going to make is that I think it's a societal thing. I think this.
Yeah.
Now I remember when I was like, I don't know, 16, 17. If the old bill caught you doing something sometimes. Sometimes you were doing it, sometimes you weren't, but you get a like ding bang 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 on top of the head, a fucking shake. Or I remember being put over the bonnet of a police car and you give me the wrong fucking address, you like. So I was in Solihull and someone said, "Where you from?" And I said, "Solihull." And then he asked, I gave him my name and address and it was Acock Screen. He said, "You fucking liar." Put me over the bonnet of the police car. But you know what? That's what's missing.
Yeah.
There's no, and I know that's not the best way to get respect, like to thrash kids. But the point I'm making is, kids now know more about the law than a solicitor does. You know, I mean, they're all so fucking self-righteous. You know, they all think that they can do anything without being touched. It's just wrong, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, what enhances a lot of people's behaviour now is, and I'll tell you what, you can go out to dinner time, pick 10 pubs. I'll guarantee you, in 5 of them pubs, you'll smell drugs or drugs are going on in the toilet. I would say it's that way, and that enhances people's behaviour, etc., etc.
It happens here as well, though, Clive. And I think
Yeah.
the other thing, Clive, you've got to be a little bit with that, you know. And I'm being a little bit woke myself now when I say this, but you know what he just said there. You can sit in an establishment that legally sells drugs and pays tax on them, and catch people who are in the toilet smoking drugs that don't pay tax on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a difference. You know, it's a bit of a hypocritical thing for someone sitting having a drink to have a go at people for taking drugs, isn't it? The only difference is you're paying tax on your drugs and they're not.
Yeah. I'll get that. Yeah.
You know.
Steve, I'm glad you've turned yourself on.
You liar.
But no, the other side of it too, as well, is you know, going back to a football point of view here, if there's the club don't do anything when incidents are reported, they'll just carry on going, won't they? It's like with a lot of, you know, like you're on about kids outside of football, like that they know in all the flipping rules and everything. Punishments don't fit crimes anyway. They know they can get away with shit. They'll carry on doing it, won't they?
Yeah, and I think the other thing is that people accept. It's a bit like Ronnie Barker, isn't it? In Porridge, when the judge says, you see prison as an accepted part of your chosen profession as a burglar, And I think a lot of them are. If they're going to nick for a year, they do 6 months. And you know what I mean? It's just a completely different world now, isn't it?
And the other thing, Steve, is the prisons are full, so they know half the time they're not going to get any punishment whatsoever. When I started in the prison service in 1993, there was something like 20% of our prison population. We had 650 prisoners. 20% of them, so that's 130, were fine defaulters. And now, if you're a fine defaulter, there's no way you're going to get locked up because there's not enough bloody room.
Well,
but yeah,
thank God for that.
20% are fine. I'll tell you a funny story on fine defaulters. there's a certain calculation that you do for how many days. So 1,400 quid, 14 days, for instance. And if somebody turns up on day 3, I've come to buy my husband out of prison to pay his fine off, then you have to do the bloody calculation. It was a complicated calculation. Well, one night, a woman turned up, and it was just before lockup. I've come to buy my husband out. He owes this much. We did the calculation and said, no, actually, he owes a little bit more than that. She went, oh, fuck him. I'll pick him up tomorrow.
Sounds right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But listen, I think we're going to have to draw a close to this now. We've been going for 1 hour and 10 minutes or something, so I think it's a good time to probably put the can on it, because number one, it takes ages for me to convert it, and number two, people get bored and switch off.
Did you read my stat
um,
out, Steve? I don't know whether you
pardon?
read my. I don't know whether you read my stat out that I put in the chat.
What chat when?
I see it come up on the screen, but it'd gone before I could read it.
We've now scored in 15 consecutive home games, beating the record of 14 set in 1970. So 56-year record.
Another record broken. Well done, Blues. Well done, Chris Davis. And let's hope a few people stop moaning. Thanks for that stat, Dave. So, Pete, great to have your son as usual, my number one man. And there's there he is, like fucking nutcase of a dog. Look at him. Has he had his carrot?
He has.
Good. Angus, you're looking very well, son.
I'm feeling okay, Steve.
That's good. I'm glad, mate.
I'm on the mend, mate.
Fantastic. I'm glad you're feeling good. Clive, I hope you think 2nd of February, that's a little while yet, isn't it?
3rd of February.
Yeah, 3rd of February, I'm sorry. Yeah. I hope it all goes well. Anyway, we'll see you next week before. We got another one, haven't we, before then?
Yes.
Yeah, we have, next weekend. So we'll see you 2 days before you have your face rearranged. That'll be good. Dave Pegg, thank you, Dave, for coming and seeing us again. And Richard, thank you for joining us. And everyone.
I couldn't actually see you.
Pardon?
You could see me. I can't see you.
Why not?
Oh,
Jesus. Put them back down, mate. If you're going to come like that again, wear some dark glasses, will you? I managed to get insulting on Dave before we went. Guys, thank you so much for today. And listen, keep right on. Up the Blues.
Have a good Sunday, Steve.
Oh, that's
Cheers, guys.
care.
Thank you.